Hey guys, get ready for Bank of Canada's interest rate cut. Now, this is for sure that Bank of Canada is going to drop its rate on 23rd of October. The question is, are they going to drop it by 25 basis point or they're going to drop it by 50 basis point? 1% has 100 basis point. If somebody says that 25 basis point decrease means 0.25% decrease, and if somebody says 50 basis points, accordingly it's 0.5% decrease in Bank of Canada's rate. Bank of Canada's rate is at 4.25%. In this video we're going to go over some economic data first, and then I'm going to talk about what Bank of Canada is going to do about the interest rate. This month's big news was inflation came down to 1.6%. It is well below 2% target by Bank of Canada. Actually, Bank of Canada, they predicted 1.8%, but the inflation came down to 1.6%. It is lower than the estimate, and this is kind of worrying for Bank of Canada, but not too much worrying. And 1.6% is increase in prices. Where this increase in prices is coming from? It is coming from the price increase in the groceries. So groceries have increased in price by 2.4%, right, compared to August. The mortgage cost has increased. Mortgage cost has increased by 5%. The rent has increased 8.2%. So most of the Canadians, they are renters, they are not owners, so they are seeing higher prices. So the economy generally is not performing good for general Canadians, right? Why it was under the estimate of Bank of Canada? Because we had greater than expected decrease in prices. First thing was gasoline, the gas, 7.1% decrease in price. Okay, it is very volatile, but still gas is more important for us. Clothing was down by 4.4%. There were prices, there are very good deals now in Winners, in Hudson Bay, in other clothing stores. If you are ready to buy something, this is the time to go and buy. Vehicle prices came down by 1.3%. Vehicle is important because we use cars for so many things. We use cars to go to work, to come from work. So we are earning from our cars. We need to take our family somewhere, and we have to do the chores, right? So cars is important. This is something good for general people. 1.3% decrease in car prices. The other decrease was in telecom. 5% decrease, 5.1% decrease in bills of telecom, like mobile phone or cell phone services, or other household internet services. These are the major ones, right? Luxury items are decreasing in prices, and items that are important are increasing in prices. Over 3 years we had 21% increase, both in food and housing costs. And the food that we purchase in restaurants and hotels, they have also went up. There's like 3.5% increase compared to last month. So people going out in the restaurants, they are paying more as compared to they were paying last month or a couple of months before. Why is this happening? It is happening because when the interest rates were really high, really high, and people were thinking about their preferences, they brought down their spending on items like traveling. The airline ticket prices have also come down, by the way. So if you are trying to go somewhere, now is the time to buy the ticket to travel, right? Because the prices are lower. But people change their preferences. They brought down certain items at the bottom of their shopping bucket list. Things that are important, they are always going to be important, like grocery and rent. Their prices have gone up, and the high interest rate actually reduced the demand for luxury items, clothing and travel. That's why this happened. We have created 47,000 jobs in September, but that's not enough. Why? Because we are having a lot of population growth in Canada. Like in G7 countries, we had the highest population growth. We don't have a really good unemployment rate. It is 6.5%. It does not sound good, even if after creating 47,000 jobs. Higher prices, high living costs and high unemployment rate. But what is Bank of Canada doing? Bank of Canada is not concerned with the conditions of general public, right? They are concerned with numbers, the numbers that are in front of us, the one that I have discussed too. So the Bank of Canada, they look at core inflation. The core inflation is still at 2.1%. It is higher than their target. Bank of Canada is not scared, it's not compelled to go for a really high rate cut. In Canada, growth is not good. So the number one factor that Bank of Canada will reduce its interest rate by only 25 basis points is because their core inflation is coming down slowly. They are within the limit they want to be in. There's a possibility that they would only go for 25 basis points. But there are two factors that will convince the Bank of Canada to drop the rate by 50 basis points. Number one factor is that whatever happened in US, some of the pundits, some of the experts in social media, in newspapers, in magazines, in TVs, they say that whatever happens in US, we follow suit most of the time. I don't believe that the executives like governor of Bank of Canada, Tiffin McCallum, and other executives, they think that way. They actually made their decision on policies on the basis of data they receive from different organizations that we have. Our economies are so related. US and Canada, their economies are similar. Canada's biggest trading partner is United States of America. So whatever happens there does have an impact here, so I cannot brush aside totally 100% possibility that we will drop the rate by 50 basis point just because US has dropped the rate by 50 basis point. There is another factor which is more convincing factor, that is the growth in Canada. We are not having growth in G7 countries. I think we are the slowest one in GDP growth, and the governor of Bank of Canada has said so many times in many different occasions that they are concerned about the growth in Canada. The rate goes down, people think money is cheaper and they invest more in the businesses and the growth improves. So they are concerned about that. So this will be the factor, and very significant factor, that Bank of Canada will bring its rate down by 50 basis points on 23rd of October. This is my prediction. Let's see what happens.